sending it. Here comes the wall. Yeah, buddy. Nice. We got the mirror there. That was amazing.
This video is brought to you by IONIQ, North America's premier charging network. With unmatched commitment to elevating the customer experience, IONIQ is opening America's roads to all EVs, giving drivers the coverage they need, the reliability they deserve, and the amenities they crave.
Hello and welcome to another Out of Spec Reviews video, and welcome to the Goodwood Festival of Speed 2025. The IONIQ 6N just had its global debut, and I am the very lucky person that gets to go up the hill to go for a ride in the IONIQ 6N in just a few minutes. Before we do that, of course, I'm going to show you around the car, talk about the upgrades over the standard IONIQ 6, tell you about the differences between the IONIQ 5N and the IONIQ 6N, and then yes, we're going to go for a ride in the car up the hill together. So it should be really fun. Looking forward to it. So join me as we go up the hill at Goodwood in the new IONIQ 6N. You join me here in the paddock area, staging for the start of the hill climb at Goodwood. You can see Defender Octa over here. Actually, a car we've reviewed on this channel, the IMLS6, now coming in under the MG brand name in the UK. Very cool Chinese cars. There's Ford electric cars like the electric Puma over here. But of course, this video is all about the IONIQ 6N, which has just been revealed. And it's actually my first time seeing the updated design for the IONIQ 6 up front. I think they've really sharpened it up, made it look a lot better over the standard car. You guys know my preference is still the IONIQ 5 all day long. I much prefer a hatchback. I would take the range penalty all day, but this car is going to be more than just a IONIQ 5 with an IONIQ 6 body on it. They've done a lot of different small changes to IONIQ 5 that I'm going to share with you. I've spent the last day with the development team of this car, asking every little detailed question, talking about inverters and talking about thermal management and some of the setup that they've done to the geometry of these cars, and I will be hopefully giving you all the information I possibly can in this video. So that's the standard car. That's how they come out of the factory over there with the dark wheels and all of the standard accents. This is the car that's showcasing the N performance parts model. So you've got carbon diffuser up front, you've got carbon side blades, you've got these really nice, I think, white rally wheels that look absolutely amazing, and most crazily is this carbon wing on the back of the car that's fully adjustable, and this is part of the N Performance Parts catalog, and they actually allow you to adjust the different angles of the wing. There's actually zero range penalty going with this. I spoke to some of the aerodynamicists about the rear wing. Zero range penalty over the standard wing right there, which is wild. Now, they said you can set it up in a pretty high downforce mode. That will start to impact range at that point. But I think it's kind of cool. You can go for this very GT3 style winglet situation. Now, back here, I have to admit, I'm not a fan of the design. I think it just doesn't work for me. It's honestly not as bad as the standard car, in my impression. There's a lot going on here, which is also kind of interesting, but I much prefer the IONIQ 5 in terms of styling. However, I think I'm going to love the driving dynamics of this car versus the IONIQ 5, which we'll talk about. So let's talk about what makes up the IONIQ 6N and some of the bones of the car. Underneath, we have the same roughly 84 kilowatt hour usable battery pack. It's NMC. It's the updated model. So we've all seen, almost 290 kilowatt charging off of these. It doesn't have that amazing flat EGMP curve that we know and love. It's pretty good, but it comes up to peak and then comes down. It's still somewhere around 18 to 20 minutes 10 to 80% state of charge. So a great DC charging car, and also a fantastic AC charging car, because they fixed a lot of the ICCU issues that plagued the early EGMP cars. So I don't think you have to worry about 12 volts dying as much or your onboard chargers taking a crap on you. They've really dialed this in, is my understanding. In terms of powertrain, it's a dual motor electric system, dual permanent magnet motors with a front clutch disconnect, just like the standard car. But the motors are actually changed from IONIQ 5. And what I'm not 100% sure of is if some of these updates will make their way to IONIQ 5. I think they will, but we're talking minor stuff. There's a little bit more thermal capacity in the rear rotor and stator of the powertrain unit, so it can handle even more prolonged endurance, high performance driving, which has been really the strong point of the IONIQ 5N, is that you can do 2 full laps of the Nürburgring with no D-rate. I'm really impressed with the thermal management systems of the Hyundai electric vehicles, and they said they've improved it even farther there, which is really cool from a powertrain standpoint. And of course, the efficiency is going to be much better than the IONIQ 5. But the chassis has also been adapted differently here on the IONIQ 6 from the IONIQ 5. The geometry settings, the bushing settings, the damper tuning, it's all tuned to give it a little bit less of a wild ride. So if you guys remember from a lot of our track reviews of IONIQ 5, you're sliding around everywhere. It's a full drift machine. It's so fun. This is going to be a little bit more grown up, a little bit more stable, and they tell me it should just be a little bit, I would say, more comfortable to drive at high speed. That was the downside of EV6 GT and IONIQ 5N, was driving them fast on the Autobahn. They were always a little bit nervous. This should be more locked in, much more of a German driving character. Some of you will like that, some of you won't. I'm sure a lot of it comes down to alignment settings and others as well, so still lots of room for adjustment on these cars. But this should be a little bit more of a scalpel and less of a crazy ripping machine. That is to say, Hyundai has also presented alongside this car a drift special, which has a electronic e-brake for the rear, which is hilarious, and it's a full drifting monster. I'll insert a clip of that right here.
So we modified our own 96 that is just launched, and the reason is enthusiastic when we see a new car, we see how we can modify it, how we can drive it, what kind of fun we can have. And that's
It's wild. So it's basically a more grown up, a little bit better thermal endurance version of the IONIQ 5. This is a car that's meant to be able to handle track days, 20, 25, 30 minutes on track, throw it on a DC charger. It can cool down while DC charging, which is so impressive, and then get out on track. The only other change mechanically that I could get out of the guys, other than the obvious body shell, is that the IONIQ 6 comes with a stronger battery heating system. So if in cold weather, this now has a 7 kilowatt battery heater. This guy's ripping over here. A 7 kilowatt battery heater versus the 4 kilowatt battery heater or so in the IONIQ 5. That will not make its way into the IONIQ 5, which makes no sense to me. You're still working with sort of previous generation software here with CCNC, so all of the insides will look not as a surprise to you, identical to IONIQ 5, very black in color everywhere. I spoke to the head of design this week and I'm like, dude, you got to make a more fun, brighter color interior, give it some pop, give it some, you know, pizzazz here. And they said they have no plans to do that. So this is kind of the interior that you're going to get. I think most people would still go for black, but I prefer lighter color accents or something to brighten it up. To me, it's just all gray, dark, everything's dark. Let's jump inside, because that's been one of the coolest things about the IONIQ 5 in the past, is the software for performance driving. So you can see actually they have the lap programmed in here, doing under 1 minute hill climbs at the Goodwood Festival of Speed. And there's also plenty of end modes that you can choose from, which is, I think, one of the coolest things. You can dial in tracks, you can dial in, you know, preconditioning. So you can go sprint mode, drag mode. There's also some other really cool updates in this car, that if you're in sprint mode, you no longer have to hit the NGB button every time. It always pissed me off. I'd be coming out of a corner, I'd want full power, I got to hit the, you know, the boost button, and we're not in gear, so it won't let us. And I was like, just give me full power when I floor it. Well, now it does. And they've also worked on the recovery strategy. So if you're wide open throttle for 3 seconds, it only needs 3 seconds of recovery to then give you the full boost back. Because the boost is pretty big. It's like 50 horsepower or so when you go into boost mode. And so now I think it's going to be way better. My preference is to always drive the car in sprint mode and then manage the thermals on my side. So if I put the car into N mode here, you can see we have all of our temperature data, and I typically drive around all of this. Some people prefer the endurance mode. I don't know if I've met anyone, but if you're going for consistent lapping where you want the car to perform the same with no thermal derate, you go into endurance mode, it pulls your peak power down, and then it manages the thermals preemptively. I like to do that myself, because then I can get all the performance out of the car when I need it, or I can save on thermals when I don't need it. And so I typically drive them in sprint mode, but it gives you the adjustments and the opportunity to do all of that. The modes, the settings are crazy, and I actually have a full deep driving analysis of every single mode, every single setting from the IONIQ 5N that I'll leave linked down below as well. I did that on a vehicle proving grounds, and I showed you every single setting from N pedal to all the above. We won't get into it really in this video. One thing that's interesting, you can see I'm revving it here. Wow. So the sound is totally different for the IONIQ 6, where maybe totally different isn't really fair. It's slightly optimized to sound a little less digital. It's definitely still video gamey, but we've kind of gone from like Gran Turismo 2 to Gran Turismo 3 sounds, if you're following what I'm saying. They've also changed the manual shifting pattern. It's actually a function I don't use when driving fast because it does slow you down. It simulates the torque curve of a combustion engine, which is not perfect, like an electric motor that can make torque to pretty high speed. And so, yeah, when I drive fast, I turn all this stuff off. But when I'm in traffic, I use the shifting and all that stuff. It's really nice. So gears 1 through 4 are now way shorter. So it's like rally cars, and you're just right through it. And then 4 and up are pretty much identical to previous, where you get these longer gear runs to get up to speed. So that probably can come through an over-the-air software update to IONIQ 5. They didn't confirm or deny, but I did ask them, and they were like, oh, we don't know. Like, okay. So I still think, you know, I always complain about it. You guys know, you're going to hear it from me. CCNC is a limited software platform that's clunky. It's hard to use. And it's, I would say, just so much going on. It's not intuitive. Now, I've really had the great opportunity to spend a lot of time with these cars, so I can run through and go through everything. But in general, this is hard for a general consumer to figure out. Cool thing is, the N brand doesn't build cars for general consumers. They build them for enthusiasts like us. What's this N road sense? When a double curved side is activated, it will tell you to put it in N mode. That's new, that's cool. Maybe it's a Euro only thing. I've never seen that in one of the US cars. So when it sees a twisty road sign, it says, bro, hit the N button and we're gonna go rip. Super cool. I like the IONIQ 6 interior. You have heated and cooled seats in this one. And, you know, very similar to the standard car in this sense. It's the refresh model, so nothing super unusual. That's like a factory GoPro mount right there. How about that? That's really cool. And, yeah, for me, it's IONIQ 5 all day long over the 6, but I do appreciate the little bit more grown-up, serious speed character that you are going to get with the IONIQ 6 N. Very cool. Here, let me just pop out. Interesting, the carbon side splitters here, or side diffusers here, definitely stick out quite a bit, so you got to get your foot around it. But it's just a serious car. I mean, I think the one thing that the N team is really obsessively focused on is thermal management, which you guys know that's my thing as well. I love to be able to rip on an electric car for a long period of time with no thermal derate. For example, that Taycan Turbo GT over here, not to rag on Porsche, because you guys know I love Porsche, but that Taycan Turbo GT can do 1 lap in the Nürburgring and still get hot on the way. This can do 2 full send laps with their amazing cooling package and not overheat. Now, in my world, that means you're not putting enough power through this thing. It needs to make another 500 horsepower. Yes, I would absolutely love that, but you know, 600 and something horsepower out of this car, same as the IONIQ 5, 650 horsepower, nothing to sneeze at. It's going to be plenty rapid, plenty fun, and I can't wait to go up the hill in a little bit. So I've got to get my helmet on, I've got to get suited up, we've got to go get ready, sign some waivers, I'm sure, and then get in either this car or the standard car. I'm not sure which one we're riding in. They're both pretty much identical. This just has the wing. And we're going to ask our driver, whoever it might be, to go absolutely full rip up the hill. My first time going up the hill at Goodwood Festival of Speed. Cannot wait to do the hill climb. This is truly a dream come true. And like I said, there was really only one slot for Americans to do this, so I can't thank Hyundai enough for letting me have a go to go up the hills. Shout out to those guys. They're so cool. All right, let's go for a rip in the 6N. We are headed out of the Hyundai paddock area and heading to the start line, where we're going to meet up with the 6N and get it hopefully pre-chilled and ready to rip up the hill. Actually, for such a short run, I guess you'd probably want to heat up the battery and powertrain a little bit to get max performance, since endurance doesn't really matter for a less than 1 minute run. But super excited to head out there. Got my Stilo N branded helmet. Shout out Stilo. And yeah, let's go find the car, jump in, and see what it's like. So here at Goodwood, they run all the cars in groups, essentially. So you can see this is probably our group. We've got the Ghost Series 2, the Alpine, the Renault R5, and there is the ride, the IONIQ 6N. Hell yeah, brother. Can't wait to jump in and get ready to line up at the start line. This will be super cool. How's it going?
Hey, mate.
Sorry to just throw you on camera like that.
I was just asking if I should carry somebody.
Yep, I think it's me. Thanks very much. Appreciate it. Chris, do you know what settings we're going to be using for the ride? Sprint mode?
Yeah, so we will set up the car in the N mode, which is making like powertrain, steering, suspension, everything to, I would say, the most race addicted one we have. And in the other terms, we have like, yeah, the N battery preconditioning. I already activated it.
Nice. Warmed it up for drag mode, which is good because we don't need the endurance for this.
Correct. So we have drag, sprint, and endurance. You can see the temperatures we are aiming like now for drag, it's 30 to 40. Sprint would be 20 to 30 and endurance even 10 to 20.
Yeah.
So as we just run like 1.9 kilometers, we doesn't care about battery temperatures.
Yeah, so we want it a little bit warmer for less resistance to get the most power, I guess.
That's it. That's the idea behind it.
Nice, cool. I was actually just telling the viewers about this on the way over. I was like, I wonder what mode you're going to have it in. I said, I would do drag, and you've got it in drag. Nice. And so we're running just a little bit down on tire pressure, which is normal.
Yeah, so basically the car is set up, or standard tire pressure is 2.4, 2.4. Based on the track driving we did everywhere, like mainly Nordschleife, I figured out, as I'm the development engineer for the tires, that a hot tire pressure around 2.2 all around is giving the car the best balance, best grip level, also like the constant temperature distribution of the tire. So otherwise we will heat up the middle section too much because of the temperature increase. And so I set up the car now to 2.1.
Nice. 2.1 standard, then by the time we get up there, maybe 2.2.
So we will be around 2.1, 2.3.
That's great advice, though, because, you know, the standard tire set has to be at full load for range as well.
Yeah, so we still have a full load tire pressure, at least in Europe. So
okay.
US might have a different one because also the speed limit is not that high.
Of course.
So especially in Europe, we always need to think about like normal load and max load, because like, yeah, we have 260 we can go flat out in Germany.
Of course.
Quite nice. So the guys for the battery management and powertrain, so they are doing a lot of stuff at Nürburgring. So we even improved the thermal capacity and battery management for the 2 laps Nordschleife we are always aiming. We managed it already with the NEN. But for sure it's like in every also ICE car, depending on the driver, some manage 2 laps, others not, because like you can go 24 hours race Nordschleife, some people in the same car do 8 laps, the other one do 9 laps, so it's always a bit depending on how you drive and how you plant the pedal to the metal.
Absolutely. Well, I can't wait for the ride. Should be really Chris fun. And I are heading out for the start line. Chris has just been educating me a lot on tires, which is, a lot of my viewers know I love tires, and you're a tire engineer.
Correct, yeah.
It's so cool. So I really appreciate the information. I've learned so much.
You're welcome.
And we've got everything dialed up to full performance here. I asked Chris to send it, so we're going to go full rip.
We go all we can do.
Yeah, hell yeah. Love to hear it. Should be fun. And we're following the Renault 4, which is kind of a cool car, which is the Renault 5 up there. Also cool. Our buddy in the IONIQ 6N behind us, but we have the N Performance Parts one, so we're cooler.
We are cooler, we are better, we are faster.
Yeah, love it. Love to hear it. So the fastest time you've done so far, 55 seconds?
So with this car, this morning was 55. With the IONIQ 5N, and I would say in race mode, no passenger, it was like 52.
Okay, so 55 still moving.
Yeah, so
pretty good, but
manageable.
We're going for a 54 this lap.
Okay.
we're gonna send it. Should be fun. Oh hell yeah! Chris is clipping the grass, keeping it pinned. Oh, feels great. Dang, it's so cool up here. Brakes feel great. Pretty stable. Super stable. Oh, way more stable than IONIQ 5. Sending it. Here comes the wall. Yeah, buddy. Nice. We got the mirror there. That was amazing. And it popped out around the corner. That's hilarious. Finish line. Woo! Nice work. Just parking up top here. We did a 53.7. Nice work, dude. That is a second. That's like almost 2 seconds off. 1.5 seconds.
Yeah.
Pretty nice. That was quick. Felt good. Amazing course.
Yeah, it's fun to drive.
Fun to drive.
Fortunately, it's too short, and we don't have enough practice time. But
Yeah, but still, you can tell this thing, the car doesn't feel stressed at all. Feels great. Yeah, super stable, way more stable than IONIQ 5.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, wow, very cool. Thanks for the ride. That was
You're
great.
welcome. My pleasure.
Nice. The other car made it up. Was it fun?
It was a blast.
That is a dream come true. Holy smokes.
Kind of hard to hold the phone or the camera steady.
Absolutely, absolutely. But they were moving pretty good. I was surprised. They were on it. Yeah, Chris was sending it in this thing. That was so cool. And yeah, just a dream. That was amazing. And up here we have some cool cars. Xpeng G6 has made its way to its top. P7 Plus over here as well. Pretty cool to see over here. And then we've got, of course, got the Series 2 Ghost, Range Rover Sport up there, and the Octa up that way, which is really neat to see. We've got Mini Aceman and JCW Electric J01. Man, so many electric cars up here. The Puma's up here. GR Yaris pulling up. That must have been fun to rip up the hill. And yeah, we've got all the Renaults up over that way that I was showing you earlier. What a cool experience. And we just came up here in the IONIQ 6. And here comes the Xiaomi SU7 Ultra after completing its run up the hill. Super cool to see these guys out here ripping it. You can hear the ceramics are making some noise after proper driving. Man, would love to go in that thing. The Mercedes CLA just in front of it as well, the new electric one. So cool to be up here at the top of the hill climb at Goodwood. What a cool experience that was to be able to ride up in the IONIQ 6. And we've got the electric Rolls-Royce Phantom over there that was done. I just did a whole video on that on the Outspec Renew channel. Super cool. Loading back up and ready to head down the hill. What a cool experience this was to go up in an electric IONIQ 6N. I can't thank Hyundai enough for letting me go for a ride. That was so cool. Well, we are leaving now after being up at the top of the hill. What a great experience it is to come up here. M3 CS touring, the new M2 CS, and the Neue Klasse. Very excited about this particular car, and I've ridden in that very car, which was so cool. So yeah, what a great experience it is to be up here. IONIQ 6N, real serious car, a lot of different drive modes, but Chris was just N button and full throttle, and that worked out pretty well. Perfect. And we're heading back down to the start finish of the run. What a cool experience. How many times have you done the hill climb now?
So for this week, or this event here, it was the third time. And like 2 years back with the IONIQ 5, and I did like 4 runs, I guess.
Nice.
So total 7.
You're getting close to 10 runs. Yeah, nice. Well, you knew it pretty well. You had it dialed in, and that was just so much fun. Thank you. Coming back to head through the infield as we make our way over to the paddock in the line of everyone. You have that insane TWR Supercat, which is just a cool machine. We've arrived, the car is shut down, and we smoked the previous lap time that we did in this thing, and what a fun time. Super cool, back in the paddock. Thrilled to be able to go for a ride with Chris. That was freaking amazing. And the new IONIQ 6 is really, I would say, a grown-up version of the IONIQ 5. Now, me personally, I prefer the crazy character of the IONIQ 5, super drifty. Of course, we got to drive it at some point. We'll get it on the out-of-spec track to have fun with this, and maybe even compare IONIQ 5 and 6 and have some fun together. But really a cool experience. And here's June. June is responsible for all of the N brands over here. So if you see a cool Hyundai N, it's under his division right there. What an awesome guy. I've been able to spend the last couple days with June, and it's been so fun. Really passionate about electric performance. And that's a wrap on Goodwood 2025. Great experience. Time to head home.